My husband used to do something really funny that I used to think was crazy, though it would crack me up. He used to write these emails to himself with these delayed responses so that months and years later he'd receive an email from himself. And usually it was some kind of pick me up. It was, especially he would do it on days that he was having a really hard day so that his future self could finally, when he finally received the email, he'd look back and say, "Good job, past self. You made it through. It all worked out." And so it was just really funny that he would do this, but it was great too because it was an opportunity for him to kind of set himself up for, to kind of congratulate his future self. So this is essentially what you're doing when you're setting up a retirement fund. You're investing in your future self. And so it's one of those things that makes it really hard now to do because we don't get that immediate gratification. It just feels like we're storing this money away, but on the flip side, we're investing in our future. So hopefully if we do get that future, we can say, "Hey, thanks past self, this is great." So at this point, the goal is for you to be out of debt and to be able to start putting 20% of your income towards your future self. So if you don't already have some kind of 401k plan through your work or some kind of investment or retirement savings, it's really time for you to start setting up a Roth IRA for yourself. If you don't know anything about investing, don't worry about it. I didn't either. I still don't know much, but I was still able to set up a few things for myself, and I was surprised how easy it was. So the younger you're able to actually start this process, the better. Many people my age and younger feel like, "Oh, I don't need to worry about this until later on in life." And honestly, this is the time that it can really impact you in a big way just because we have time on our side right now. So I want to show you just how growth can happen. I'll walk you through it. First, let me show you why this is important in the sense of Roth IRAs and interest rates and compound interest. First, let me show you why this is so important. Most Roth IRAs seem to have interest rates about 8 to 10%, according to my experience and research. So I want you to watch this amazing thing called compound interest. Let's say you make $1,800 a month. Let's say 20% of that is $360. Now let's invest that every month. So in 5 years, if you put down $360 and every month you're throwing in another $360 into your investment with compound interest, and with that investment, in 5 years you'll have $25,000. 5 years, that's $25,000 that you've put away and allowed to grow interest. In 10 years, that can be around $63,000. 20 years, that's $200,000 at 8%. 30 years, that's $490, almost $500,000. That's $500,000 in 30 years, and then in 50 years, that's $2.5 million. $2.5 million, I'm just saying. And that's putting a couple $100 away every month. It's amazing. And that's just investing the minimum, and you're retiring a millionaire. Again, this is on top of the money you're already making in your 20s, 30s, 40s and 50s. This is your money now making money for you. And isn't that the goal? So it's just in the numbers. The hard part is the discipline. When we see our monthly $360, we think, "I want what I want right now. I want to spend it." So again, we have to be grown-ups. We have to be disciplined. We have to put our impulses aside and say to ourselves, "Nope, it's worth it. Right now, I have enough. I have that 30% that I spend on my lifestyle, and that's enough because I want to have enough for my future as well to maintain that lifestyle or have an even better one." On the flip side, if you don't invest, let's say you either choose to or have to, for medical reasons, retire at 65 years of age. Think about it. The average American's lifespan is about 79 years. So that's saying you live another 14 years. Then using that same example above, you have $2.5 million. That seems like a pretty good amount. Divide that by 14. You have $170,000 a year to live off of. Think about it. We live in an inflated economy, and what if you live longer? What if you live into your hundreds, like most of my family? So $2.5 million divided by 100 years, so that's 35, about 35 years. That's now $71,000 a year. Can you live off of that? That's not too bad, right? But if you don't save that much, what would your quality of life be, you know? Also think about it, your medical expenses get much higher in old age. You know, the average cost of living, even in assisted living in the United States, it's $3,500 a month just for a one-bedroom unit. And again, that's an average in an average area. If you live in a big city like I do in Los Angeles, it's about double that. So again, if it's $3,500 a month, that's $42,000 a year just on your living expenses. That means by the time you hit 65, you'll want at least $1.5 million in your retirement fund, or you're in big, big trouble. First, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your retirement fund if you don't already have one. Again, I'm not sponsoring anyone, but the easiest thing that I've found, just in my experience, for setting up a Roth IRA was using Fidelity.com. You've probably heard the ads. If you haven't, go to Fidelity, Fidelity.com. It's super easy. It's online. I can connect it to my bank account. I can manage it, and I can look at it anytime. I don't have to call anyone. I don't have to meet anyone at a broker's office. It's just right there online. I've never, well, maybe once I've talked to a person from Fidelity, but you really don't need to that often. There are a ton of videos that will walk you through setting up an account, and if you have any trouble, just let me know and send me an email, and I'll be glad to help you set it up as well. You'll be given the option to invest at high risk, a medium risk, or a low risk. You're going to base this on your age. If you're under 30, you can be high risk. If you're between the ages of 30 and 50 years old, you can be a medium risk. And then if you're 50 or older, I would recommend you do a lower risk plan, because you want to know that the funds that you have are going to be in good shape in the next 20, 30 years. What Fidelity will do is gradually, as time goes by, for example, if you invest and you're under 30, it will slowly reduce your risk to account for your age. So that's pretty cool. The second thing you're going to do is connect your bank with your Fidelity account so that you can have monthly automatic deposits. Set it all up to pull the money from your bank account just a few days after you know you'll be depositing your your income check. It's a lot easier to invest when you kind of force yourself to. That's what I had to do. So when you don't see that money in the account, you're a lot less likely to use it. Or at least when you know it's going to be pulled, you're not going to spend it, because you know you're going to get that fee if the money's not there when it does that automatic deposit. And what you're going to do is you're going to set the amount to be automatically deposited into your Roth IRA. So ideally, it's 20% of your monthly income. Again, this is after you've filled up your emergency fund, and this is after you've paid down all of your credit cards and your loans. Then you're going to take that 20% of your monthly income, and you're going to have it automatically depositing into your Roth IRA. Now, I do want to note that you can only put up to $5,000 in a Roth, so the maximum would be $416 a month. Okay, and we'll talk more. If your 20% is more than $416, that's fantastic, and we'll talk about what to do with that leftover money. So that's it. Now let's just let this account sit and do the work for you. Let your money make more money for you. Just do not touch this account until you retire. Do not touch it until you retire. Again, what's really awesome about investing in Roth IRAs is you do not get taxed on that income until you actually withdraw. So there's a huge benefit there. All right, thank you so much, and let's move on to our last module.